Good morning, my name is Rachel Philpotts and I am the founder of Renutrition. For those of you that don't know me, I am a nutritionist and a functional medicine practitioner and a mental health expert. I help stressed out career women to improve their mood naturally and feel revitalised, re-energised and restored. So I'm here this morning because Kirsty has kindly invited me to take over. And she said that you all wanted to know a little bit more about nutrition, so she invited me to give a couple of talks today. So I'm here first of all now, and I'll be back again later at 1 o'clock, where I'll be talking a little bit more about how to foster positive mental health when living with a chronic condition. But for now, as I'm here, let's focus on the here and now. It's bright and early, so I thought I would talk to you about how to set yourself up for a good mood day. So I've got a few bits of equipment around. If anybody's got any questions as I'm talking, then just feel free to put them through in the chat and I'll see if I can get to them as I'm going through. Okay, so in terms of then how I start a good mood day, I've got 3 sort of simple tips that I follow. The first one is to drink a glass of water as soon as I rise. So even the mildest dehydration can lead to negative feelings such as anger, confusion and depression. Whereas if you increase the amount of water that you drink each day, the research shows that that's actually likely to reduce feelings of anxiety. So what I do, I tend to fill a glass up before I go to bed, take it upstairs with me, and then I'll keep it next to the bed with me so that as soon as I get up, I've got no excuse and I'll drink that straight away. Excuse me, I think I'll have some now. So the second thing, in terms of having a good mood day, it's all about setting some important morning rituals. So that includes taking some positive time for yourself. I don't mean here it's just the normal routine of getting up, getting dressed, getting washed and ready for the day. What I mean is some kind of positive activities that set your intention for the day. So whether you're a yoga person or you like to meditate, perhaps do some breath work or practice gratitude, whatever that is, and the research shows that any mindful practices done first thing in the morning can lower stress levels and create that positive mindset for the day ahead. So for me, for example, I like to go for a walk with the dog. So it'll just be 10 minutes around the block. I've already been this morning. It was quite dark, but there's nothing more mindful for me than listening and observing sort of nature, waking up at that time of day when nobody else is around. So I see someone else has joined there. Hello. So the third thing then, in terms of what I would do to have a good mood day, is to set myself up with a mood boosting breakfast. So a healthy balanced breakfast with protein, fibre and healthy fats supports mood balance and brain function. So with that then, so protein, for example, is the building blocks for all the brain chemicals that help to regulate our mood. So if you think of serotonin, our happy hormone, or dopamine, which is our reward and a kind of get up and go motivator hormone, and GABA, our calming hormone, all of those originate from amino acids contained in the foods that we eat. So getting some protein in is really important. Protein is also really important because it helps to maintain blood sugar balance, and that helps to keep our stress hormone cortisol in check. So you absolutely want to make sure that when you're thinking about your breakfast, that you want to make sure that you've got a good amount of protein in there. And then secondly, we want to make sure that we've got a good amount of fibre in our breakfast. So fibre helps to support and feed the good bacteria in our digestive system. So you may have heard the gut referred to as our second brain, and that's because there are hundreds and thousands of neurons located there. So keeping a healthy balance of gut bacteria helps to support positive gut-brain signalling. And that's why the scientists think that diets that are higher in fibre actually help to reduce depression and anxiety. So we definitely want fibre in there too. And then finally we also want some healthy fats in there. So think about monounsaturated fats. they help protect the brain and support brain function. So things like nuts, seeds, avocados are all really great sources of monounsaturated fats. And then also think about things like omega-3. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid which we can't produce ourselves, so we have to get it from the diet. And the omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, so they help to reduce any inflammation in the brain. And there is tons of research out there that omega-3 is antidepressive and anti-anxiety as well. So mood boosting breakfast with protein, fibre and healthy fats. So lots of my clients say to me that they don't have time for breakfast or they skip it. So skipping breakfast, if you are in any way stressed or you're struggling with your mood, is really not a good idea. And one of the best solutions for getting some kind of mood boosting nutrients in right at the beginning of the day is to have a smoothie. It's quick, it's easy, and if it's done right, it should keep you full and keep you going all the way till lunch. So I thought we could kind of make one together now. Just kind of pause for a second, see if anybody's got any questions. And if not, then I'll carry on. So this is the first time I've ever made a smoothie live on Instagram, so bear with me. I hope we don't have any kind of blooper moments, but we'll get going and see how we get on. So the first thing then that we want to put in our smoothie is half a banana. So the reason why I put half in and not a full banana is because I want enough in there to create some substance for the smoothie. And I want to take the benefit of the lovely fibre that's contained in banana. But I mentioned before it's really important to kind of keep cortisol in check. So we're thinking blood sugar balance. So we don't want to put all the banana in because we don't want it to be too sugary, but we do want a little bit of sweetness from the banana. Don't worry that you can just chop up the remaining banana and stick it in the freezer, and then you can then grab it again for the next smoothie you make, or you can just blend it on its own. It's quite nice as just kind of a healthy version of ice cream. But whatever you do, don't waste the rest of that banana. It will come in handy later. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to put in my smoothie is something green. So I've got some lovely kale here. Just some kale. I've just washed some of it, so I'm going to add that in now. So yeah, adding something green to your smoothie is just a great way of getting hidden vegetables into your breakfast. I like to use kale because it contains this wonderful substance called indole-3-carbinol, which actually helps us to detoxify any excess hormones that are lurking around. And quite often an imbalance in hormones can be the thing that could be driving poor mental health. So if you're stressed out and you've got excess cortisol floating around, or you've got an imbalance in the female hormones, so there's excess estrogen circulating, then substances like kale, or you could use broccoli, or you could use cabbage, that all contain that indole-3-carbinol are great for kind of mopping up the excess hormones, binding them, and then ready then to eliminate them out of the body. So yeah, I always like to include something green in my smoothie. I always say, Kirsty always says to me that I'm the broccoli queen, because I'm always saying that cruciferous vegetables like broccoli are a girl's best friend. So yeah, let's definitely sneak some of them in there. I promise you will not be able to taste the kale in this smoothie. Okay, so the next thing we need is some frozen blueberries, which I'm just going to get out of the freezer. And you can use any berries, it doesn't matter which ones. I just picked blueberries this morning because they're open and I need to use them up. I also like to use frozen berries because it saves me having to add any ice to the smoothie and will keep them nice and chilled. I'm just going to pop some blueberries in there. As you can see, I'm not one for measuring or anything like that. I'm just putting in what I would say was about a handful of blueberries. So far you can see we've got half a banana, handful of washed kale and some frozen blueberries. So the reason why I like to put berries in my smoothies is because they are full of antioxidants, and antioxidants help to protect the brain from toxins or any other potential harmful molecules. So just get rid of these. so next we're going to add our healthy sources of fat. So I like to use a teaspoon of nut butter in my smoothie. So I mentioned before those all important monounsaturated fats that keep our brain cells nice and healthy and help support brain function. So I use a teaspoon, but it's actually quite a heaped teaspoon there. So I'm putting that in. And the benefit of this is, of course, and you get to lick the spoon. So that's some healthy monounsaturated fats. You can use other sources of fats. You can put in some mixed seeds, for example. So I'm actually going to add some of them into mine as well. So I've got some pumpkin, linseed and sunflower seeds there. And just a little mixture that I keep handy just to throw in. And I often get asked, people always say to me, oh, I don't want to eat any kind of seeds, even though they know they're healthy. But again, this is a great way of sneaking them into the diet because you can just whack them in your smoothie. And again, it'll add some nice crunch and texture, but you won't really taste them. So you can see there, I just got a little mixture of seeds, but you can actually buy them like that. You can buy them as like a seed mix, so you don't have to make your own. In terms of the nut butter that I've used, then you can see that today I've used cashew butter. So you're looking for nut butters really that are just basically all they've got in them more or less is the actual nut. So you can use almond butter or something like that instead if you prefer. Tend to avoid peanut butter just because peanut butters tend to be mixed with lots of other things that are unhelpful and we don't want them in our smoothies. So I use cashew or almond butter. Again, that helps to give the smoothie a lot of creamy texture and adds in those all important monounsaturated fats to keep our brains healthy. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of flaxseed. So I mentioned those all important omega-3s. They are the essential fatty acid that we can't get. Our body can't make that on its own, so we have to get it from our diets. So flaxseed is a source of ALA, which is a form of omega-3. So flaxseed used to be the kind of thing that you could only really get in Holland & Barrett, but most supermarkets now sell flaxseed. It's actually just ground or milled linseed. If you're wondering what the difference is, there isn't a difference. It's ground. And when it's ground, it's already kind of broken up, so it's much easier for us to digest it. So that's why I use flaxseed. It's also a great source of fibre alongside the banana. So we've got things in here that are going to help to feed our good bacteria that I mentioned before, support that positive gut-brain signalling. Okay, then finally we need a source of protein because I spoke about how important protein was to help create those brain chemicals that foster a good mood, like dopamine, serotonin, GABA, that kind of thing. So we're going to use protein powder. Now, protein powder isn't just for bodybuilders. I get lots of women always say to me, oh, I don't want to use protein powder because I don't want to get big and muscly. You won't, that's not what we're using it for here. We just want to make sure we've got a good source of protein in our smoothies so that our breakfast is nice and balanced and it's going to keep us full until lunchtime. So I use whey powder, which is derived from milk. But if you're plant-based or vegan, you don't have to. You can use a plant-based source. So something like pea protein or hemp powder is a great alternative. So I've got about a heaped tablespoon. I might put a little bit more in there going in. So yeah, I use whey powder because it's got quite a high level of protein in it. But you have to be careful when it comes to protein powders because lots of them are prepared with all manner of different and crazy ingredients added to them. So I use the Organic Protein Company, which you can see there. And literally all this has got in it is whey powder, nothing else. It's just pure and clean. It's organic. It comes from happy cows that are bred in lovely fields in Germany, and they're grass-fed and well looked after. So in my mind, not only does it tick the kind of single ingredient box, but it also ticks the animal welfare box, which is something that's important to me personally. Okay. So the last thing that we need then is some liquid as the base. So it's not going to blend unless you've got something in there that is going to create that kind of liquid to blend it all together and create that smoothie that you can actually just drink. So you can use, I'll use either plant-based milks or whole cow's milk. Today I'm using coconut milk. You could use filtered water, or coconut water, anything really that's just kind of liquidy that's going to bind it up together. That's just plain and simple really. Again, you can see that I'm not measuring it. Ideally, you're just kind of wanting enough liquid in there to cover up all your ingredients. It's going to make quite a decent sized smoothie, that one. And then all I'm using is like a NutriBullet. I was umming and ahhing whether to blend this on the live or not, because it's probably going to make a horrendous noise. So let's give it a go. If we have any disasters, I might discontinue and show you the kind of after picture after. Ooh, I hope if I turned it on. There we go. And you're ready. And then you can, if you're going out to work, you can just put a lid on that, pop it in the bag and take it with you. Or if, like me, you're working from home and then you've just got an instant breakfast ready to have. Let's have a taste. Yeah, lots of lovely. I'm getting the texture, sweetness of the berries and the banana, a little bit of texture from the crunch from the seeds, and you can't even taste the kale. So happy days. So yeah, you can see how quick that was to make, and I was obviously talking and explaining in between. So if you were making it yourself at home, then it'll probably take you a matter of 2 minutes. So yeah, see how you get on. You can always watch this back on the replay and follow the instructions and make your own. I would love to see your creations. If you do make a smoothie today and post it on Instagram, then please tag me in it. My handle is at @re_nutrition. Just a reminder that I'll be back here again at 1 o'clock talking all about how to foster good mental health when you're living with a chronic condition. More tips on nutrition as you've asked for. So I'll hopefully see you then. In the meantime, I wish you all a good mood day. Take care. Bye for now.